Hello, Music Medicine here. It is cold outside in Denver, Colorado. We are about to get pummeled with snow. Actually, they said it was a light dusting tonight, but winter is nigh, everyone. So, with respect to a class I recently taught on immunology, I wanted to give you guys a few pointers on how to stay healthy in the change of the seasons. So, I'm just going to jump right into it. Our ancestors, all of them, no matter where they came from, were not super industrialized. So, industrialization has given us a false understanding of our environments. So, if we live in apartment buildings and houses, etc., nowadays we have heat, we have air conditioning, we have wood stoves, or not wood stoves, gas stoves, electric stoves, cars have heaters. So, we don't we don't really have the same kind of communication with our external environments as our ancestors once did. So we want, in order to be healthy, to hold space for the way our environment is going to interact with us. So first and foremost, you want to dress appropriately. Okay, according to Chinese medicine, we can catch cold, and not just catch a cold, but wind and cold, and just cold itself can invade. So one of the things, when I was a 20-year-old young woman, I started studying Chinese medicine, and my mentor said to stop wearing midriff shirts. Because when you do, it leaves you open for vulnerability, and especially in a season when it's cold outside. So then they would say that the wind can enter through the skin, or the cold can. So if you see a higher incidence of menstrual cramps, something that you might want to think about is, are you exposing your belly or where your womb is to cold? Cold constricts. So just like ice, when you put the water in, it might be a little over, but then once it freezes, there's space around the outside because cold constricts. Therefore, it can make your muscles more tight, and you can also catch wind. So one thing, wear warm clothes. The other thing that wearing warm clothes does, or dressing rather appropriately to the season, is it allows for your body to not have to spend extra energy. Your body has to warm itself up if you're not dressed appropriately, and therefore you are spending more energy. So this is energy you could be spending on your day at work instead of like shivering. When our body shivers, it is actually our own body's response to give us kinetic energy to help make us warmer. So that's a thing we can do. Another thing we can do is wear a scarf. So according to Chinese medicine, right here, on the kind of like where the big vertebrae are on the back, right where the shoulders meet the neck, there is a spot that we call phlegm, or your wind gate. That is where external wind enters, and that's how we usually get sick. So you ever heard like, oh, I got a draft and then I was sick? That's what's happening. So make sure you are wearing a scarf. That's gonna help save you. So another thing that kind of is unfortunate just in American culture is the overabundant consumption of what is called phlegm food. Phlegm food, it's kind of like what it sounds. It's like anything that creates phlegm. So I'm going to give you a list of these, and you're probably going to be bummed out, but it's just real. Bread, cheese, milk, greasy fried foods, alcohol, sugar, anything sugary. So I know a lot of parents, when their kids are sick, they want to give them like something that will quell, at least kind of emotionally, their issue. So cupcakes and cakes and pies and all these things have a lot of sugar in them and are a lot of bready. That is going to clog the sinuses way more. If you have a snotty kid in general, there's a potential that they're just eating a lot of phlegm food, and therefore they are creating more phlegm in their body and expelling more phlegm because the body wants to get rid of it. So that's one thing. I had a patient person who came in to see me, said they had allergies for years. They tried everything, over the counter, under the counter, and I took them off all manifestations of phlegm food, many of which I just told you all about. And in a week, she texted me, she hit me up, she's like, I haven't had any problems in a whole week. Why don't they teach this in schools? Because that would mean less money for the industry, unfortunately. Or fortunately, as the case may be, fortunately for us. So you're going to want to be drinking and eating broths, things that warm you. Smoothies aren't great in the winter time, unless you put some like ginger or cinnamon. Once again, we're talking about warming foods. We want to balance the cold weather, okay? So socks, boots. Try not to walk around your house without slippers on because cold could enter the feet. And here's the other big thing. This is hugely contentious, but I'm going to go for it. Do not get the flu shot. Do not get the flu shot. It says right in the manufacturer's insert that acute allergic reactions happen 3.4% of the time. So an acute allergic reaction would be like an epileptic seizure or anaphylactic shock, things like that. That means 34 out of 1,000 people have severe allergic reactions to the influenza shot that they are giving to everybody and saying that it's cheap. I know people who, actually every single person I know who's ever gotten the shot's gotten sick from it. The other thing they don't tell you in the manufacturer's insert is the low-grade illnesses you get from getting a shot like this. That can look like a low-grade allergic reaction, psoriasis, just welts on the skin, asthma, hard to breathe, people just feeling genuinely sick for like a year's time. So the best things you can do is eat a lot of aromatic herbs, keep a healthy diet, cut out a lot of processed foods, drink teas, especially flower teas. Flowers have the operation, they bloom outward. So that means in the body, their energetic is out. So it helps keep things from coming in if the energy is moving out. And honestly, guys, doing regular exercise is going to help your own internal isness be strong so you're not susceptible to external pathogens, external influences. Now, this doesn't mean that you want to exercise and then go out and get cold. If you do go out to the gym or something and exercise, wrap yourself up so that your pores aren't open, because your pores are open when you sweat, so that something can't attack you, okay? So we have eat right, don't get shot up by a bunch of chemicals and no neurotoxins, wear a scarf, dress appropriately for the weather, herbs, teas, and also you want to get a lot of sleep. We are susceptible to pathogenic influences when we are not well, when we are not strong, we are not healthy. If we're overworked, if we're tired, if we haven't been hydrating enough so that the toxins can flush through us, we're gonna get sick. And sometimes we think we catch a cold, but really it's just our internal toxins needing to come out and we're worn down from working too hard and not resting enough. So as your healthcare practitioner, your curandera, helping people out not to get sick and feel better, really make sure that you are taking care of yourself. A couple of tips: if you do feel like you get sick, you know, like when there's that morning when you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling a little scratchy or whatever, there is a really great thing you can do. Get fresh ginger and the heads, the hairy heads of white onions, like they look like bigger chives, and throw those in a pot and boil it and then simmer for no longer than 15 minutes. Drink it as hot as possible. You want to make yourself sweat, but you want to make yourself sweat from either steaming or taking a hot bath, putting on sweat clothes, and drinking hot teas. That's called releasing the exterior. You want to do that to make yourself sweat because it pushes things out if you caught an internal pathogen. And you definitely don't want to make yourself sweat by exercising, because then you put your muscles into it. It can pull the pathogen deeper into your chi level or your muscle level. So make yourself sweat by hot tubbing or hot bathing or steam rooming and drinking hot tea and putting on warm clothes, and drink some spicy ginger tea with maybe some onion tea, and drink it as hot as you can so that you break a sweat. But don't try to break a sweat by exercising, because that will send the pathogen deeper. All right, so friendly neighborhood curandera hitting you up with how to keep yourself healthy now that it's cold outside. You are always welcome to check me out. #Tiatimi. Muse in Medicine is my handle on Instagram, and you can find, you guys are on YouTube at my video. You can go to Facebook, Muse in Medicine, to find me as well, and direct message me if you'd like treatment, either in Denver or the whereabouts, or I also do distance sessions, tuning in kind of thing. We can talk about it on a chat. So nice to talk to you guys. I hope you're all doing really well and have a blessed, wonderful beginning of your winter season. I'm dressed warm.